Your heart is racing. Your palms are sweating. You haven't moved from your chair in 20 minutes and nothing in the room has changed. But your body doesn't know that. It thinks you're running for your life. An email just arrived. A red notification. A single word from your boss. Talk? That's it. That's the whole trigger. But somewhere behind your eyes, a switch just flipped. And for the next few minutes, your body is going to behave as if a predator is standing 3 feet away, ready to strike. The strange part isn't that you feel this. The strange part is why. And the real answer is far stranger than stress. 200,000 years ago, your ancestors lived in a world where the difference between life and death was measured in seconds. A rustle in tall grass, a shadow moving wrong, a silence where birdsong should have been. Their bodies built a system to catch those signals before conscious thought even had a chance to weigh in. Heart rate up, blood diverted to muscles, digestion paused, vision narrowed. Every resource in the body redirected toward one outcome: survive the next 10 seconds. That system worked. It worked so well that it's still running today, unchanged inside you. The problem is the world moved on and the system didn't. Neuroscientist Joseph LeDoux spent decades mapping exactly how this happens inside the brain. He found that a small almond-shaped structure called the amygdala can trigger a full-body alarm before the rest of your brain even finishes processing what it saw. Decode that word for a second. Amygdala just means almond in Latin, named for its shape, not its function. It sits deep in the middle of your skull, and it doesn't wait for permission. By the time your thinking brain, the prefrontal cortex, catches up and says, "Wait, that's just an email," your body has already sounded the alarm. You didn't choose to panic. Your amygdala fired first and asked questions later. That's not a flaw. For most of human history, it was the entire point. Here's where it gets stranger. Your amygdala cannot tell the difference between a lion and a deadline. To the oldest part of your brain, a threat is a threat. It doesn't know what an email is. It doesn't know what a mortgage is, or a performance review, or a text message left on read for 6 hours. All it knows is that your heart rate spiked, your breathing changed, and something in your environment registered as danger. So it responds the only way it knows how: total mobilization. Physiologist Walter Cannon first described this response over a century ago and gave it the name that still sticks today: fight or flight. Cannon watched animals under threat and noticed the same sequence every time. Adrenaline floods the bloodstream. The heart pumps faster to move oxygen to the muscles. Digestion shuts down because there's no evolutionary benefit to digesting lunch while running from a predator. None of that has changed in you, not one part of it. But think about how differently you use it now. You don't run from lions. You sit in traffic. You wait for a text back. You open a spreadsheet and feel your chest tighten before you've read a single number on it. The threat has changed completely, but the response is identical to what your ancestors felt facing an actual predator on an actual savanna. Your body is still built for sprinting or fighting. Your modern life mostly requires you to sit very still and stay polite. That mismatch has a name, and it has a cost. Stanford neuroendocrinologist Robert Sapolsky spent years studying this exact gap in a series of studies comparing stress in zebras to stress in humans. His finding was simple and unsettling. A zebra's stress response turns on for exactly as long as the lion is chasing it, and then it turns off completely. The zebra escapes, shakes it off within minutes, and goes back to grazing like nothing happened. Its body doesn't linger in that state. Humans don't do that. You can trigger the same biological alarm just by imagining the meeting that hasn't happened yet. You can lie in bed at 2 a.m. running through a conversation that occurred 14 hours ago, and your amygdala will respond as if it's happening right now, in real time, with real danger attached. Your body doesn't distinguish between a memory, a prediction, and an actual event unfolding in front of you. It reacts to all three the same way. That means you can spend hours a day in a full physiological alarm state, triggered by nothing except your own thoughts. Neuroscientist Bruce McEwen gave this ongoing wear a name too: allostatic load. It's the cumulative cost of a body that keeps sounding an alarm it can never fully turn off. Unlike the zebra, you rarely get the clean resolution. There's no moment where the lion is gone and your body agrees the danger has passed. The email might come back. The meeting might get rescheduled, not cancelled. The uncertainty itself becomes the threat. And uncertainty, unlike a lion, doesn't have an edge you can see disappear over the horizon. So what do you do with a system this old, running inside a world this new? You can't turn it off. That system is not a bug you can patch. It's older than language, older than agriculture, older than the concept of a workplace. But there is one thing your ancestors had that you've mostly lost: the physical resolution. They ran. They fought. They used the very hormones the alarm produced to actually do the thing the alarm prepared them for. The stress response was designed to end in motion. You, sitting at your desk with your jaw tight and your stomach in knots, are holding all of that mobilized energy with nowhere for it to go. That's why a walk after a hard conversation actually works. Not because it distracts you, because it completes the loop your body has been waiting on since before recorded history. Movement tells the amygdala the same thing running from a lion used to tell it. The danger has passed because you did something about it. Here's the twist most people never sit with. The system that makes you anxious about an unread message is the exact same system that once kept your entire bloodline alive long enough for you to exist at all. Every ancestor you have, going back thousands of generations, survived long enough to reproduce partly because this alarm never let them get caught off guard. You are not broken. You are running the most successful survival software ever built, just pointed at targets it was never designed to evaluate. Your ancestors' greatest fear had teeth and claws and a heartbeat you could hear getting closer. Yours has a subject line, and your heart still can't tell the difference. And think about the last time your phone buzzed during a meeting and you felt your stomach drop before you even looked at it. That drop wasn't random. It was your amygdala doing exactly what it was built to do, scanning for danger in a sudden, unexpected signal. A vibration, a flash of light, a sound that broke a pattern. To your ancestors, a broken pattern in the environment was the single most reliable warning sign available. Silence where there should be birdsong, movement where there should be stillness. The brain learned, over hundreds of thousands of years, to treat any sudden break in the expected pattern as a 5-alarm event worth investigating immediately. Your phone exploits that ancient wiring perfectly, and it doesn't even know it's doing it. Every notification is a small, artificial break in pattern. Everyone gets treated, at least for a fraction of a second, the way your ancestors treated a snapped twig in the underbrush. Multiply that by the dozens, sometimes hundreds, of notifications you receive in a single day, and you start to understand why so many people report feeling exhausted by evening, despite never once standing up to run from anything. You spent the entire day in and out of low-grade alarm states, over and over, each one small enough to seem harmless and frequent enough to add up to something that feels like real fatigue. Because it is real fatigue. Your nervous system doesn't discount an alarm just because the source was small. There's a reason this matters more now than it did even 20 years ago. For most of human history, threats were rare and physical. A predator sighting might happen once a week, if that. The alarm system had long stretches of quiet in between, time for the body to fully reset to baseline the way Sapolsky's zebras do after outrunning a lion. Today, the alarm can fire dozens of times before lunch. An unanswered message, a red badge on an app icon, a stranger's opinion in a comment section. None of these carry any physical danger whatsoever, and your amygdala treats every single one as if it might. This is where the story gets personal, because it isn't only about emails and notifications. It's about the way this ancient system shapes how you see other people. Psychologists have long noted that a threatened nervous system doesn't just narrow your vision, it narrows your judgment. Under a real threat, you weren't designed to consider nuance. You were designed to sort the world into 2 categories: fast, safe, or dangerous. That binary sorting system, so useful when a rustle in the grass genuinely might be a lion, doesn't disappear just because the danger today is a disagreement with a coworker or a stranger's comment on something you posted. The same narrowing happens. The same fast, defensive judgment fires. You find yourself certain someone is against you, certain a tone was hostile, certain a delay in reply means something is wrong, long before you have any actual evidence to support it. Your ancestors survived by assuming the worst first and checking later. You inherited that assumption, and it still runs in the background of nearly every uncertain interaction in your life. So how do people work with a system this old instead of constantly fighting it? The zebra offers a clue worth taking seriously. It isn't that the zebra never feels fear. It's that the zebra's fear has a clean beginning and a clean end, tied directly to physical movement. The lion appears, the zebra runs, the lion is gone, the zebra stops. Full stop. Nothing lingers. Modern life rarely offers that same clean resolution, but the body still responds best when it gets one. A short walk after a stressful conversation. A few minutes of physical exertion after a hard day. Even simply naming the sensation out loud, saying, "This is my body reacting to a perceived threat, not an actual one," gives the thinking brain a chance to catch up to the alarm brain and gently override it. None of this erases the system. Nothing can, but it gives the system what it has always needed most. Proof, in the form of action, that the danger has passed. There's something worth sitting with in all of this. The very mechanism that makes modern life feel so exhausting is the same mechanism responsible for you being alive to feel exhausted at all. Every single ancestor in your lineage, stretching back long before agriculture, before cities, before language itself was fully formed, survived encounters that would have ended you instantly without this exact alarm system working exactly as fast as it does. It never lost a single one of them to hesitation. It's not malfunctioning now, it's simply pointed at the wrong century. Your ancestors' greatest fear had teeth and claws and a heartbeat you could hear getting closer. Yours has a subject line, and your heart still can't tell the difference.